You gonna do it?
Yeah, yeah. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to tell the truth. I just wanted. I just could. I panicked because I didn't have my notes together, and I thought maybe I shouldn't go through with you know, this. But no, it's time. It's time to let the truth be known. Finally.
Jeremy, Jeremy.
No, I'm not a caveman, and I'm not Jesus. But anyone who's known me for any length of time, knows how private a person I am. Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I get comments all the time about, why don't you try dating, meet somebody nice, change your circumstances. But the story I'm about to relate,
Get laid, bro.
see that right there. The story I'm about to relate would explain why I am the way I am, why I never settled down with a nice woman, never went to college, never went as far in publishing as I would have liked. Uh, yes, this will answer all those questions once and for all. It's true that I was always a bit aloof, being an only child who had to fashion his own entertainments since there were no brothers or sisters to torment. Everybody still there?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here. I just muted so sounds wouldn't bug you.
So I was pretty good at combating boredom, as an only child, because I had to get creative, But one day, I walked down to the fall festival, because the school was in within walking distance, and the school had every school has a fall festival, right? That's not unique to Mary
No,
Hughes.
we,
Okay.
no, we got
No.
one.
All right. And so all these ladies and everything, when I got there, they had all their crafts sitting out and everything, handmade dolls and whatnot, trying to profit off of a fall festival. That's just part of it. There were kids playing on the basketball court, just a typical, suburban, school fair or event, But one table was occupied by this girl that was slightly older than me, um, and I could tell she was trying to get my attention because she had these handmade dolls, and she was like moving them to where they were facing me at an angle, like they were looking right at me, and I asked, hey, what's with the dolls, and she said that they were Kachina dolls. Anyone ever heard of Kachina dolls?
Are
Um.
those like
Well,
toy dolls?
no wait. No wait. Cochina is kitchen.
No.
Are you
Well,
sure that's the right word?
if you're talking about in certain language, sure,
Well,
but
yeah. Cochina is Spanish for kitchen.
well, I think this is a little bit older than that, or farther away from Spain.
Uh,
They're Hopi. They're like Hopi
oh, okay.
figures from Hopi lore and legend.
Okay.
Here's a good example of some. Thank God for image share. uh, you've seen those at the flea market and whatnot, probably if you have one
Mhm.
in town, right?
Oh
Beautiful.
yeah.
Oh
They're
yeah, definitely.
So. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm trying to find the one that most resembles the one that she showed me because, you know, it's kind of important. But I don't know, man. I can't go through those all night. But I'll just say this. Have you ever heard of the Coco Pelli?
I haven't. No.
Yes,
Neither.
that's the guy with the braids and his big flute that he's playing and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have seen this symbol, you just don't know what it's called.
Can you show it?
I thought
He's
it was.
looking for it.
Okay. Damn it. Okay. Okay. Uh, sorry. My reaction time is slowed and everything. Uh, here we go. Yeah, you guys have seen. Yeah, you guys have definitely seen that before, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, yeah, I have too.
What do you think of when you look at that? It looks like a fun guy, right?
Well, it makes me think of like '90s fashion for some
Me,
reason.
yeah, me too. Me too. It makes because of what's his face? Baptiste, whatever the fuck his name is. The artist who was doing all the colorful figures similar to Coco Pele. Oh gosh darn it. What the fuck is his name? Hold on.
Yeah, I'll pause my.
Jean Michel Basquiat. Basquiat is the dude's name. That's who you're thinking of.
Well,
There you
wait,
go.
Basquiat was like one of Warhol's contemporaries, weren't they?
Basquiat was, I think, around Warhol, but a little bit after, and was just very popular in the 90s, and I think died in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. This makes me think of like something like a
Oh,
'90s
88
new
is
age or
when he
would
died.
wear.
Yeah. He died in 88.
So
Yeah,
this girl, asked me if I saw any I liked, and that they were only $5 a piece, They were, all colorful with the feathers, horns, fangs, fiery reds, and cornflower blues. That you saw on that one website. Yeah, they were all like that. Um, Maybe not as fancy, but when I picked this one up, that it kept capturing my attention. Yeah, it had the spiky hair, and looked like he was getting down with the flute. Um, and something about that figure seemed looser than the others. Like she had one there called the ogre. Some were for vengeance, some were for truth seekers, others were for balance between good and evil, or balance between in nature, uh, or there was even one that she said stood at the end of time itself, and would be the last uh, being alive when everything ended. You know, so she was really schooled in her Hopi mythology. Um, but yeah, the Coco Pelli uh, just kept capturing my attention, and she said it was the most special spirit in her family's tradition. And then she explained it was the cocoa belly, and it was responsible for making farmers' crops grow, or it could just make them barren, for several seasons if they didn't mind their p's and q's. Um, he brought in the change of seasons by playing this flute, you know, and he even helped people fall in love like a regular Native American Cupid, right? And, so yeah, I thought, I'll buy the Coco Pelli doll. Yeah. And I gave her money, and then my pockets were empty. Uh, I distinctly remember bringing my wallet and some spare change, but they weren't there. The girl laughed and told me to check my pockets again, and my wallet had mysteriously reappeared, and she hadn't moved an inch from her seat across the table. I swear, on my life, this is she did. She worked some sort of weird voodoo mindfuck stuff on me, you know. Uh, but she told me to take the cocoa belly, and said she hoped it would bring me good luck and happiness. Uh, I asked her if she went to school there, where I did, where we were, and she said no, but she'd probably be enrolling there soon after she finished moving with her family. And I asked what her name was. She said Tansy. which is a really strange but almost beckoning name. I mean, you guys don't. None of you know anybody named Tansy, right?
I don't know.
Shut up. Sorry. If you knew how bad a certain person fucks with me by directly like going through a channel in my mind. This is why I had to take notes. I never got to mention my name to her before this, but she already knew it. She said, "And your name is Jeremy." And I asked, how do you know that? And she said, I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, but I 100% was positive that I had not. But the kachina she gave me, was occupied my dresser for many years afterwards. Sometimes I would find it facing in different directions than I had left it,
Spooky.
Just like Annie in Misery, notice when the penguin facing a different direction, right? But in the first month that I had that doll, I something changed in me, and it was very subtle at first, but it's like I had more energy when I would wake up in the mornings. I didn't dread school. That's not a sigh of boredom, is it, Regina? I know you got a thing, but you got a condition.
It was just me fucking breathing Jeremy Maddox.
Okay.
I swear to God, I'm gonna get on a fucking plane to Tennessee and I'm gonna shove your microphone up your ass.
No.
He might like that.
No. You don't understand. She'll hurt you if you come.
Jesus.
What?
She'll hurt you if you come here. Here. Right here. She will hurt you if you come here. Don't do it. None of you.
Coco Pele.
Tansy.
I'll fucking shove the microphone up Tansy's ass.
There we go. Double date.
Like I said, it was very subtle at first, and but before the end of the week, when I had first gotten that doll, things started happening. Like besides having energy, when I actually have an energy when I got up, I could run longer without running out of breath. When in the mornings when it was cold, I would feel like I was sitting in front of the fireplace, not overly hot, but just warm enough, and I thought, my God, it's 30 degrees out here. Even though I was a kid, I said, it's 30 degrees out here, but I don't feel the windows are frosted, but I feel warmed. I feel like I'm sitting in front of a fireplace. And then I started getting better at, mathematics, and I scored abnormally high on a math quiz to the point that the teacher, said, if you're cheating, it will be found out, and it will be addressed. It will be dealt with. But I swear I did not look off anybody's answers. And here's how I know that it was unnatural, because fractions and decimals and all that was like, to this day, I don't understand that part of mathematics. But I mean, I got a 96 on it, and then in gym class, my second worst, class in terms of performance, I was the sole survivor in Warball. Anybody ever play Warball?
Dodgeball.
Yeah. But I think the rules. I seem to remember the rules being more strict in Warball. Anyway, you run along the lines in the gymnasium. The painted lines, and you can't go outside those lines or you're out. And you have to dodge. If they throw. But if you catch their ball, they're out. Right. There's no way that I would have been the sole survivor of this game, as unathletic as I was, unless, someone had designed, such a feat in their minds and projected it or something, made it happen. But I caught the ball of a particularly athletic classmate, and I mean he understood basketball like Zach understands, I don't know, Christian apologetics. Okay, is that a good analogy?
Yeah.
So, and then strange dogs started following me everywhere and fighting each other. They were actually biting each other's necks and scratching each other's, faces in order to win my favor. And I would pull them apart and they go right back to each other. I mean, the dogs were following me around trying to, impress me with like, rolling over and shit. I don't know, man. That's not normal behavior for dogs that I have never seen before, right? But at this point, I knew something was up. All these things added up, and then I thought the Coco Pelli doll. It had to have been the Coco Pelli, reversing my fortunes. But the week of Halloween that year, Tansy showed up at the school where the fair had been, where I was going, and she was in my homeroom. It's like she lit up the room. I was so excited to see her, and talk to her again. That feeling when you see a girl or a guy that you particularly like, and it's like when they come around, they really enhance your own life, and it's like you would give anyone else's life in the room to save that person you like so much. That feeling.
Yeah.
That where you're visibly mad, if your schedules don't align for something, you feel like you get territorial. That feeling. That's kind of feeling that I was feeling when she showed up. It's like she's here. But oh my God, I'm going to have to be separated from her some classes. I won't see her the whole day. That is normal to feel at that age, right? So I don't know.
Oh yes, I'm sure it is. It's just something I never experienced at that age. So go on, Normie.
Normie. Well, I don't know, because she fucked me up so bad, mentally, that it's like I'm a whole different person now. At one point I wanted to go to college and do all this other stuff. But we took to each other pretty quickly, and the new school year kicked off, and there were things about her that didn't always add up. Like she would never let me, she would never invite me over or let me, see the inside of her house or anything like that. When we would walk by, she would just, tell me angrily to keep walking. I don't want to talk about it, she said. And I'd never seen her parents drop her off at school. I knew she didn't take the bus, and when she was staying late, later in the evenings, her parents would never call to ask where she was or anything. She said, I asked her once about all this, so, there's a lot I still don't know about you, Tansy. And and she said, I make my own schedules. Okay. No one was the boss of her, is what she said. So then Christmas rolled around, and when she saw all these wreaths hanging up and Christmas trees with the lights and everything, she was freaked out. She didn't understand any of it. I had to walk her through the whole Christmas tradition, the Christmas carol part of it, the Christmas tree, the wreaths. She didn't understand any of it even after I told her. It was foreign to her. I thought, look, I know you're immersed in your Hopi, lifestyle and culture, but how have you never heard of Christmas? That's when I knew, this girl must be from another planet or something, right? That's impossible for a normal woman. I'm sorry, a normal girl to not know what Christmas is. That's not possible, right?
It
Tell me
that
that's
doesn't
not
sound possible at all.
Tell me that's not possible.
It sounds a little strange.
What, like not know it at all? Didn't celebrate or didn't know it at all?
She didn't understand what Christmas was. She had never heard of it. And even after I explained it to her, she looked vaguely frightened by it all.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre.
That's
not
pretty
normal
weird.
That's not normal for a little kid, right?
No,
I mean,
no, not at
maybe
all.
maybe if they were raised in like a remote part of the world that isn't Christian.
So I gave her I went to the flea market, and they've always got good Native American stuff there. I could never tell the subtle differences between each tribe or whatever, so I just picked up a dream catcher, the prettiest one I could find. It was a dream catcher necklace, and I gave it to her as a Christmas gift. And she said, "So am I supposed to give you something in return now?" And I said, "Well, no. That it's just whatever you want, whatever people want to give each other at Christmas. That's all you do." And she said, "Well, I do want to give you something." And the world changed around us. I don't know how else to explain it. It was like a curtain being pulled back, only a curtain of like sky and grass just being pulled back like a door, or a door or a curtain, or you know what I mean? It's like the reality came unmoored for a second, and there was like a black space there, but it wasn't a door, and it didn't have any form. It was just, I guess it was like a tunnel, And I'm sorry, that my visual descriptors are not as powerful as they might once have been, but I mean,
This is a fascinating story. Keep going.
I've been fighting with this girl in my head for a very long time. And she won't let me have any peace ever. It's why I don't date, because I don't want her to hurt, any girls, that I actually might, like. But that day, she took my hand and guided me through the tunnel. And on the other side, it's like my memories are censored. It's like she's got them blocked off in my head to where I can't access all of them. She said, I'll let you remember some of it, but you can't. There are other things that I have to, I have to keep to myself, even if
Did she give you any screen memories? Like, do you remember things instead of the events, or do
you mean like with alien abduction, where you
kind of
you think that you were seeing a helicopter instead of a UFO?
Yeah, or an owl instead of an alien. / was there any missing time?
Well, I remember one she used to take me through this tunnel, every now and then, when she could tell I was bored, or just like kind of stuck in a rut, for the day, or down. She would take me through that tunnel, and I do remember once that I came back through the tunnel with her at like 11:45 at night, and mom and dad were in bed. Instead of looking for me frantically, which any other time they would have been breaking down every door in the trailer park to see if I was in there. But they had just gone to bed without even noticing I was gone, I guess. And that was very uncharacteristic of them. So this bitch even got into my parents' heads and started sifting through things. I mean, it's like, you have no expectation of privacy once you open yourself up to Tansy. It's maybe that's why I created Sick Fix in my head, to eat all these bad thoughts, maybe to spew them back at her.
The best way to get back at her is to write a horror movie titled Tansy that's like about Sick Fix or some other version of you defeating her. And then you'll have 100% broken her hold over you by sympathetic magic.
Yeah, but you don't understand how Tansy works yet.
Well, you don't fucking understand how powerful the magic of writing is. Go on, Jeremy. Keep telling your story.
The problem is that the power of Tansy is greater than the power of writing. I wish
You're You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. Keep telling your story, though.
She can make writer's block happen, and every time I get close to finishing something that might, put me in better spirits, she destroys it. She destroys my enthusiasm for it. She destroys every idea I had that, like when I passed out twice tonight, I probably had breakthroughs creatively, and she stole them from me, pulled them right out of my head. I have felt her pull thoughts out of my head, and then I couldn't. There was just a blank space there where I could feel, like someone has phantom pains, right? It's like my imagination has phantom pain sometimes from the thoughts she's pulled from my head.
That's a freaky description, and I like it.
And the more she does it, the less connected to the world I feel. But we would go through this tunnel, every so often, and I know this is going to sound, incredulous, but I mean, after all the other stuff I told you, this really so hard to believe? I actually met Hopi spirits, communed with them. The problem is I can only remember surface impressions of them. They wouldn't talk. They spoke in symbols like hand. What do they call it? Where you're doing all this stuff with your hands. What do they call it?
Sign language.
Sign language. They did that except with, symbols. It's like they would conjure what looked like, what you would see on rock paintings. So it's like they were speaking to you two different ways at once. It was really an overwhelming experience, and I never felt so ensconced in the light as I did when she would take me through, and I could actually remember snippets of meeting these strange beings from all different cultures, all different mythologies, and all somehow created the world all at once, So it's like you're there basking in the radiance of not just one creator, but many creators. Can you imagine what that energy feels like and how you never want to leave it again? It's okay, Mike. It's all right. You can go, man. And
yeah, it's like 12%. I'm like, dude, don't die yet.
Thanks for coming on the show tonight, Mike. We really appreciate your story.
I'm going to do this again, man.
Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, well, see, Gregor is going to be away for 2 months, hopefully just 2 months. So if you want to come back every Sunday, I don't know. I know you're busy, but we're looking to fill the goat's shoes for about 2 months. So,
Sure. Yeah, I'll come back on, definitely.
And I hope you'll come back and listen to the end of this story, because it may have ramifications for everyone you know and love, as well as everyone else in this room. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to listen on my computer.
and I'm not faking, man. You need to arm yourself with knowledge about this bitch, okay?
Definitely.
All
You
right.
guys, thanks for having me on, and I will talk to you again soon.
All right.
Yeah,
Happy
thanks for
Halloween.
coming.
brother.
Happy
You as
Halloween.
well,
Happy
man.
Halloween.
All right, bye.
It's over. Halloween's over. It's 15 minutes removed from Halloween.
3
5
hours
minutes.
to go over here.
Yeah, 45 minutes for me.
You want me to finish the story next week? It's okay if you do.
No, you can. No,
No,
you can finish.
I mean, I'm more than happy to put off talking about Tansy. You know, anytime I can escape from her is good. You know, I'll continue if you want, but I can also
Yeah,
continue next week.
yeah. Go
Regina,
ahead and continue.
if I get Regina's,
Keep going. Keep telling the story. I keep telling you, keep going.
so you know, I started getting used to going through the tunnel and getting excited. You know, are we going to go through the tunnel today? And she called it the overgrid because it was like looking down, looking, you know, looking down on the world as all these, you know, creators and spirits did, you know. So it was like an overgrid, she called it. And you know, she started to get annoyed some when I would ask. You know, say, "What's wrong? Am I not good enough to spend? You know, you don't want to spend any time with me anymore. You just want to talk to them. You know, I'm the one that took you through there. You know, and they weren't happy with me taking you through there at first." And I said, "I'm sorry, Tansy. Why do you want to argue? You know." Um, so you know, Christmas came and went. You know, and I realized that she wasn't wearing the dream catcher that I got her, and she got annoyed when I asked her why. It was like in February, and she said, "I just don't." Okay, you know, uh, and I took it, you know, and tried to put it around her neck while we were talking one day. Uh, I don't remember what we were talking about. I think it was The Simpsons, like the last episode of The Simpsons or something. Which, you know, that's one thing we always had in common was our love of The Simpsons as kids. And I tried to put the necklace around her neck, and I saw smoke come up. And she said, "You don't understand, you know. I can't, you know, I can't, you know, you can't take my dreams from me. No dream catcher can take my dreams from me," she said, "you know, because that's what I'm made of, or, you know, I'm made of them, basically." And that's the only way you'll understand, you know, that's the only way your feeble brain will understand is if I tell it to you like that. And you know, I had never heard a little girl talking that way. Your feeble mind, you know, I thought, and then I've started putting it together. No parents, no visibly no parents, doesn't ride the bus, doesn't get taken to school either, you know, because I waited up for her, so, you know, and she would always like pop up behind me like super stealth, you know, or something. And this tunnel that it's like something out of a really cool, you know, cartoon like Mighty Max or Visionaries or something. And you know, she must have charmed me to not be suspicious of it, but you know, it wasn't working as well anymore because I said, "Wait a minute, how are you doing all this? This is not normal," you know. Uh, and she said, "Yeah, I haven't been completely honest with you. I'm actually not, you know, an 11-year-old kid. I'm more like, you know, 1,011 years, but I've lost count," she said, you know.
I've seen this anime.
I wish it was an anime. I wish it was an anime because then, you know, uh, she would have something for me to forgive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But she started cutting me off from the overgrid and the source of all that light that sometimes I would take back with me, you know, through the tunnel. She started withholding it from me, or you know, stealing it from my heart or my mind with just a touch of her hand. I mean, you know, she got really mean, you know, and she even tried to poison me. on Easter Sunday that year. Tried to poison me.
What'd she try to poison you
with her touch.
Whoa.
She touched my forehead and she said, Saint Poison. And then, I felt this, I felt such a feeling wash over me that I can only describe it as like Mr. Yuck. Mr. Yuck, that smiley face thing that they put on like toxic stuff.
Yeah.
That I can only describe it as feeling like Mr. Yuck, I felt like she was upending my stomach from out of my body, and I was crying, trying to call for mom, who was over there talking to, some parents by the car. And, there were some trees in the way, so they couldn't see what was happening. And I said, am I going to die? And something changed in her eyes where she turned her head, like maybe like dogs do when they're trying to comprehend you. She turned her head to me like this, and she's like, no, not today. And then she touched my forehead again, and it was like she took it back. I could feel it leaving my body, So she tried to poison me and had a change of heart. Now, Tansy and I, were inseparable for several years, after that. And she tried to be more, understanding and less, malicious like that. But she said one day, I think it was April Fool's the following year. She said, one thing you're going to have to realize about me is that anything good that you get from me, it's going to end, as a trick. And she said, because I am a trickster spirit. And I said, oh no, you're the Coco Pelli, aren't you? I said, yes, but not the kind that you see, on car aerials or, posters or Native American art. There's a lot that they left out about me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting emotional here. I think I'm gonna have to continue the Tansy story next week because, quite frankly, she's draining my energy. And I'm gonna fall asleep.
I mean, if you think you really need to, then we can do that.
Yeah, she's working me over right now. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it there. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Again, Music is Over is available for pre-order from malarkeybooks.com.
And always go ahead and check out godless.com, including my book, Mayhem at the Museum. You can get it there, pre-order it on Amazon or Aereo for paperback. And I got lots of other books coming out soon, too. So check out hrhdegenetrix.com and sign up for my mailing list. Happy Halloween to everyone listening, and have a safe and wonderful start to your main holiday season.
Yep.
And anybody who's brave enough to take this Tansy bitch out, I will give you all you need to know if you will come here. It has to be here on my property and not an inch off my property, or else it won't work. If somebody wants to help me kill Tansy, please reach out to me. I'll give you all the specifics. I don't even care that it might not be legal. I just need to. I need, for the sake of humanity, I need to rid her from this world. And I'm sorry to be so, to alarm anybody, but time is of the essence. Okay, that's all I'll say. And if the world still exists next week, I'll continue the story. If not, then I guess I failed on some other front. I failed with something else. So, thank you guys for coming and taking my mind off of the hell that I live in, for a few hours. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Thank
course.
you for having us on the show, and a happy
Yeah.
Halloween to you, my friend. It was fun telling scary stories and talking about Halloween shit all night.
I am disappointed that Autumn wasn't able to make it. She never even responded, but she was fairly confident about coming on at first. But I bet Tansy said something to her. I bet
Possibly.
Tansy scared her off. That's what it was. Tansy scared her off. Tansy scared off my female friend here, physically in real life. For several hours earlier, where she wouldn't answer me. That's probably what was going on there too. Tansy's actually making me talk about it right now, so I'll stop. I love you guys. Pray to whatever God or mammon or whatever ultra terrestrial you tend to look up to, because in my experience they all seem to be real, unless she was showing me an illusion there too. So I'll track down some music real quick, and I got to change it over. So if you could just talk for another 30 seconds while I get that taken care of.